One of the viewers left a comment on my videos saying, and I quote, can you talk about kids these days and their behavior and what you think about it? And the only thought that came to my mind reading this was, wait a second, I'm not a kid anymore? Did our generation grow old enough that we are able to talk about younger people that we consider kids now? How? Why? And most importantly, when did all this happen? Where was I? Hello, it's me again, and this time I decided I'm gonna be talking about generations and respect. Why? Because I want to and because I can. So, first things first, what does a generation mean? Well, generations are considered like a group of individuals who have certain kind of common representations, behaviors, and most importantly, collective memory, being it that they survive certain kind of events. They witness certain kind of events because they are approximately the same age. So, that being said, the question is, when does a generation emerge and start existing? Like, when is the end and the start? And like, who can say that this is a generation this and this is another generation? I think it's a very, very, very thin line that we cannot simply draw ourselves. And I also personally think that only an outsider to the generations in question is actually able to make this definition and draw the lines between certain generations. For example, if I'm sitting with my family to dinner and they start talking about that one subject that we love so much, like that one and only subject that would never bring any kind of conflicts, none whatsoever, politics. You can clearly see the differences between, I don't know, my grandpa and my dad, like in the way they communicate, in the arguments they use, the tone of their voices, and even in what they want to eat and how they actually eat their dinner. All of these differences that we grew up to be told they're what define a generation gap, a term that I do not like to use because I do not see it gap as much as I see it of evolution, of development, of, I don't know, of progress. Yes, the word progress. This actually defines progress from one generation to another. Progress, how, you might ask? Simple. Different upbringings makes different values, right? A generation that upbring another generation that's affecting the other generation, upbringing the other generation, and so on and so on and so on. You get the picture. So it's like the domino effect. One generation that affects the generation after it and all the other ones after it. This is a process, it's a growth, and how we grow from one generation to another certain generation. Being it a good kind of growth and a good kind of progress, that is up for another whole kind of discussion, maybe another video, but what's certain and what we know, it is how we progress from one generation into another. And it's kind of a way of survival. It's how nature is supposed to take its course. This will bring us back to our subjects, generations and respect. I, for myself, was raised to be by my parents to be a very, very nice girl. So I will have to respect anyone who is older than me, no matter where, how, or when. As long as that person is older than me, I always thought that I should respect them. I should shut my mouth, end of the story. I should always smile, be that smiley girl, and respond in a nice way, and be polite, and like expect the good in everyone. And well, that was kind of a very bad thing because it brought me to the person that I used to be, a very, very naive person. Linking my personal story to growth, this is how it went anyway. Our parents, the baby boomers, they were taught they should take two things into consideration when communicating with someone else: their age and their social status. Us, the millennials, we were taught by our parents, the baby boomers, that we should take one factor into consideration, which is age. Now, the generation Z, or whatever you want to call it, the new generation, they will take a lot of things into consideration when communicating with a person. Their age, sometimes not really, which some cases it's a very, very good thing. Their intellect, the way they're communicating with them, the aspect, the environment you're talking with them, and all of these things before deciding how to actually react with that person. People might see this as disrespectful. I personally see it as kind of a survival kit, a survival way. It's a bit funny, but personally think that's how it's going. Like, which generation is stronger than the other one, which generation will show their dominance, and how that generation is actually the result of everything that the other generations did before them or taught them. In high school, we all had a subject where the teacher asked us to write this very long argumentative text convincing our father or our parents about a certain thing. And we were taught that that's because of the generation gap, we need to know how to communicate with those who are older than us. So we had to think about every single thing, like what to say, when to say it, how to say it, all the different types of arguments, which argument we should start with, like the stronger one, and then go all the way to the weaker ones, and so on. And we used to take everything into consideration before talking with the person who is older than us. And here's the thing: the new generation, they do not do that. They will just go for it. They will just do it. They'll just just do it. You know, like, I mean, it's kind of fascinating how behavior change from a certain period of time to another. They will just do what they have to do, and they will let the results and whatever they did convince you as an older person of why it was an awesome idea, hopefully not a very, very bad idea. But here's the question: is this rude? Like, did they cross the line? Why are they doing such things and behaving in such ways that we consider weird? Honey, here's the thing: your parents used to think you are weird as well. I am sure, I am certain that my father would never as a kid stand in front of his dad and try to convince him about something new that he should try. Like, for them, it's just black or white. If the parent says something, you should do it and not argue about it, or else it means that you were raised badly, you know? We started bringing up the negotiation part of the communication between us and our parents, try to convince them we should do this and that, and maybe it is a good idea. The new generations, they just do it, and along the way you might find it's weird, but you will get convinced that it might be the good thing. And that is, ladies and gentlemen, what we call growth and progress. We are, as human beings in general, we are facing and surviving through evolution, and things are changing, sometimes in fast ways. And what we have to do is only to find ways how to adapt and accept it. It might be sad to say it, but it is their time now. what we might consider as rude or as a strange way of behavior is how things are supposed to be, and is what is normal to them comparing to us. So what we have to do is only to find bridges and ways of communication to facilitate the relationships between us, and it is totally normal what's going on at the moment. So thank you for watching. I'm trying a bit to make videos go shorter because I noticed the last video was a bit long. I hope it was a good one. Please let me know in the comments if there's anything I should be talking about next and what you think. Any suggestion, any feedback is very welcome, and like and share and subscribe and do all those things that you are supposed to do when you're on YouTube. Thank you and see you next time. Bye!